You guys been playing with it at all or not? No. This is your main operator station here. This is the main operator station because this station can override the guy in the platform basket at any given time, okay? So if you have an operator in the basket who's doing operations and he doesn't see that highline wire, but you do, if he's going right, you can make him go left by just simply turning your lever to the left, okay? You need to have the aerial power on, though, to make that happen. If it's off right here, these controllers won't do anything, and he'll have complete control. But to override him, you need to either be on high or low, and then you'll be able to override him at any time, okay? We highly recommend that you have personnel at this station when the aerial is being used, okay? They have better visibility from down here and they can really see what's going on for the basket. Up in the lid you have another intercom, just like the pump panel. Push the talk on the right. This is your volume and your power. And I don't know if you guys are using headsets or not.
We have some, but we haven't put them in service.
Your monitor control, water monitor control, located in the lid on the right hand side here. It's pretty simple. Arrow up is monitor up. Down, monitor down. Left and right rotation, and fog and stream. I'm not sure if it's programmed or not, but it can be taught where to park itself. Okay, so when you're done, you can push and hold park, and it'll go to a pre-programmed spot and stow. You can also teach it to oscillate. So if you want to sweep the scene automatically without sitting here and pushing the buttons, you can program it to do that. And then to stop it, you just push any key and it'll stop, and then you can reprogram it again. This is the master pad. This one will override the keypad that's at the platform basket.
Will it override the remote?
It will override the remote as well, yes. This is the master keypad at all times. Okay. Low breathing air warning system. That's what you're seeing right now is a low breathing air warning, okay? The air in the breathing line has dissipated enough to turn the sensor on. So that's what warning number 1 looks like, is a blinking light. Warning number 2, when you've dissipated, I believe it's 20% breathing air remaining, that's when you'll hear a chirping sound, and that's the audible alarm for low breathing air, right? So if you ever get down to the point where this thing starts chirping at you, you know, say you got it in the fire barn and you just got the power on and it's chirping, just crack the valve open on the bottle and charge the line and shut it back off, and that'll turn it off.
Does it chirp up in the basket too?
Yes. Both stations have the exact same low breathing alarm. Next to that we have a flow minder. This is a Insight flow minder, and this is giving us gallons per minute flowing through the tower. It's also, I believe it is a pressure, well, just a flow minder, I think. Yeah, I don't believe it's reading pressure, just total gallons. So gallons per minute, real time on the digital display. And then the total button will give you total gallons flowed to that point in time. So if you want to know how many gallons of water you flowed at the fire scene, you just press the totalizer button, and that'll tell you how many gallons of water you have flowed and delivered. If you want to record that number, you want to do so before anybody turns the power off for the aerial in the cab. Once you do that, it'll go back to 0. Hydraulic system pressure gauge. Anytime I activate an aerial control, I'm going to get hydraulic system pressure. After a few seconds of no operation, it goes down to low pressure automatically. Right now we're running about 300 psi when we're on standby. Otherwise we stroke the pump up all the way when we are operating.
What's normal pressure?
Up 3,200 psi.
3,200.
Next to that is our load gauge. It's a very simple gauge to read. Green is safe, yellow is caution, red is overload. Okay? As our loads graduate up, we'll go from green to yellow. And that's okay. Nothing's going to stop, no alarms are going to go off. We're just letting you know that your loads are increasing. Once you've exceeded the rated load, once you just break that threshold of 1,000 pounds, this red light will begin to blink at you. It'll look just like this one. Okay? That's warning number 1 for overload. And once you see that, you should take some action to reduce your load. But if you haven't and you continue to overload the aerial, once you exceed the rated load by an additional 10%, you will now hear an audible alarm. It's a solid horn that'll go off inside this panel, also inside the platform basket. Okay? When you hear that solid horn going off, we're going to disable the aerial. We're not going to allow you to lower it any lower than you are at that point in time, and we're not going to allow you to extend it out any further than you are at that point. Okay? We will allow you to do the good things. Retract or elevate up. Okay? Rotating, you'll have the ability to do that, but rotating won't reduce your load. It might get you into a more stable jack area, but it will not reduce your load. Right? Retracting or elevating up. Steve, would you short jack this rear outrigger? Once the load has been reduced, the load minder will read that automatically, and it'll go down into yellow or green and into your safe and caution mode, and you'll be able to operate the aerial normally then, okay? And that'll all happen automatically. The quickest way to reduce your load is to remove it from the aerial. So if you can remove that load from the aerial, you want to do so. You always want the load or the people to come down the ladder, not to go further out on the ladder. That's going to increase your load. Always get them coming down the ladder. So remove them from the ladder if you can. If you can't do that, elevate the aerial up, and if you can't do that, retract the aerial. Okay. Now we're short jacked. I have an outrigger not extended light on. I also have it on at the outrigger panel, and I have a slow blinking light for this right rear outrigger. We're going to just take the aerial over this short outrigger.
Is this on low or high?
This is high. This is low.
Okay.
Now, any other aerial manufactured in the United States would not allow you to rotate any further than this when that outrigger's short. So if you have a short outrigger on this side of the truck, you're not allowed to use the aerial over here unless you override it, and that would be a very unsafe thing to do. But we will continue to let you go. Okay, we're monitoring how far out that outrigger is, and we're monitoring how far this aerial has reached.
Crush 23. They just the saw that it's from custom tires. Yeah. The ultrasonic sensors are just on the basket, correct?
Only on the basket, not on the bottom of the floor, on the outside, left and right, and on the front.
Nubbin sticking out.
Right. Now I'm going to extend out a little bit, so watch yourself. So everything's good. We got operations. But once I exceed my reach limit, it'll automatically disable. There she went.
So that's
no alarms or anything like that. All three of my disabled lights came on. Outrigger not extended began to blink. So I've exceeded my reach limit here. Now to get out of this situation, I can retract the aerial or I can go up. I'm back online. So the higher I go with the aerial,
now, if there was a load in the basket, would we have even gone as far as you did?
yes, you would have gone as far as you did. It's not load based.
Oh, okay.
It's based on reach. So when it disables like this, I can put 1,000 pounds out there yet.
Oh,
okay. So whenever it's disabled, I can always have my rated load.
You could be doing everything we wanted to.
Yep.
As it is.
Absolutely.
Trying to remember. Hey Rick, you in this position here with the outrigger override. Can you lift that outrigger off the ground?
I sure can.
Yeah, that's how you can tip the
I wanted
truck.
to be sure before I said it, but yeah. You can, and that's what you don't want to do. So I was saying, if you were working off this side, and you needed something by on that side, you could do that.
You can
But-
move that outrigger. But always keep in mind, guys, even with the aerial over here, when I move that jack, this aerial is going to move.
Yep.
Because when that jack moves, it's going to move the lever. Okay? So it's only in emergencies that you want to do that.
Yeah.